Kia ora everyone. Someone requested another video with models from journals and magazines, and I decided that I will do one with a AI picture, just because then we don't have any privacy issues. However, this is not just a random picture. I've already had a similar video on my Russian-speaking channel, and I developed this model specifically for that video. So I will be talking to you about that story, and I will also be using lots of different things that I prepared here to put makeup, to brush and comb her hair, and I have some jewelry pieces as well. So let's get started. So some of you maybe remember that once I wrote a book that was called Diary of Broken Kids, and I wrote it in English and then created an audiobook. This book, I think, is not available anymore because I continued working on it. However, for those of you who remember this book, this person was created as an actor for a cast for the main role in the film that could be filmed based on that book. Her name is Alona, and she is a girl from industrial town. The events of this book are happening in 1999, and it is based on high school, and this girl, Aliona Volkova, is a high school student, and she's in the senior year. She's 16-year-old. There are a few things that are happening to her and her friends, and of course first love and some relationship issue with parents. So what were the main features of this girl and the book, and here presented to us by the actress? So first of all, she was supposed to be a blonde girl, and we can see that we have a model who has naturally blonde hair, which is something I think quite rare when it is naturally blonde like this. Probably have more people with brown hair on our planet, but don't quote me on that. So that was the first feature that we see is matching with the story, blonde hair. And the hair also was supposed to be short and not as volumized as some real magazine models might have. So she was supposed to have this real texture of the hair, and in the book she was a little bit upset about how her hair looked, because she said that her ends were usually split, and that's why she had to cut it that short, and it is fine. So that was great. We also have a really natural eyebrows in this model. Look at this, and I think this is how the eyebrows of a high school girl in 1999 looked like. Maybe now, of course, people do different styles with their eyebrows. If you want to follow the trends, then probably you will be putting some sort of you will be using an eyebrows pencil to color them, and of course before that you would be trimming them and possibly using a twice, I don't know how it's called, I'm always confused, to pluck some of the eyebrows, some of the hairs, and especially from here, like so. And this girl maintains her eyebrows very well, but I also like that it is so natural. And this is something that we would want to see in the actual actress of that film, of that possible film that is happening in our dream universe. So those eyebrows looking good, and I will just use a little bit more of this brush. So with the book, I just wanted to let you know, for those who read it or listened it, it is not, it hasn't disappeared. I actually translated it into Russian language, and many people are enjoying it now in Russian language. I also improved some of the character arcs, and I know I still have I still have some work to do on that book, but currently I'm working on another one. However, my plan is to go back to the Diary of Broken Kids and one day translate it back to English. So it was written in English, then translated to Russian, and it has been changed. And now I want to translate it back to English one day and share it with all of you. So what do we know about the eyes? According to the story, the girl has blue eyes, and she compares her eyes to Venus planet. Maybe I'm wrong. I read that story quite a while ago. I think it was Venus, because there are only 2 planets that look blue in space, and one of them is Earth, of course. But then there is another one, and I think it's Venus. So here we can see that her eyes are naturally blue, so they're more on the grayish side, which is perfectly fine because we want them to look naturally. I wanted this girl in the book to have a very classic standard beauty, and that was done by not by accident. I purposefully done that because she was supposed to be like one of those most beautiful girls at school, but she was not your classic beautiful girl. She's not like the queen of the school or the classes, nothing like that. She's different in that sense. And that was my point, that you always, in stories and movies, have those cliches when a beautiful girl is always mean, or she's the queen of the school, or a girl who is beautiful but she doesn't know that she's beautiful, and things like that. So this book is actually breaking those cliches, and it doesn't touch on that at all. So it's a natural, very, I'd say, realistic story. Of course, based on my personal experience, not but my experience at high school. So her eyelashes, we just put some extra mascara on her, but you can see that she already has some mascara. And I think I told you a few times before as well that I had in my class when I was at high school, I had a girl that looked like this, with blonde hair, blue eyes, and she was very smart. She was the smartest girl in school, and she was never a queen or anything like that. She was obviously very popular with the boys, but she was not mean. She never used her beauty to get anything, and she was a nice person overall. So that's where the idea for this girl came from. But also this character from the book, she is a bit shy with boys. She doesn't really understand them, doesn't know how to react, and some of her friends and also some other girls at school are more free, and this story of course touches on losing the virginity and on different aspects of sex life, and so this girl hasn't experienced that at the beginning of the story. That's why she is very aware that she probably is behind in some way and feels uncomfortable about that. However, she doesn't have lack of boys' attention. She just doesn't know how to react to that, and of course she wants to have her first time with someone who she really loves, or at least someone who she is attracted to. And in the story she meets that person, not at school. So this is a little bit about her. She is also a rich girl, and she feels really privileged. She is a little bit arrogant, but mostly because of what her parents can afford. And this is only because she doesn't really know the other way. This is what her family's behavior is, and she's just adopting that. And obviously this is something that needs to change through the course of the story. So basically these are two things that she is working on through the story. She is very aware of her beauty, and she keeps and maintains her beautiful look. She pays a lot of attention to how she is dressed, again at the start of the story. And she doesn't really she doesn't do anything about it. She's not a bully, but she doesn't respect people who don't care about themselves. This is something that is changing through the course of the story. So now let's put a little bit of powder on her. Just like so. She looks very beautiful, and we don't need to put a lot of makeup on her, but I know that you guys love it, so we will do this. And when I was in my high school, I used a lot of powder and foundation. I think it was maybe popular to do that. So our faces were like white, because we didn't have at that time, I think, lots of shades for foundation. This mostly was like this bright pink, and it looked ridiculous, but we liked it, and I think that was the trend at that time. So, or maybe not, but I know that me and my friend, we did it, so maybe some other kids thought that we look ridiculous. But could definitely be a possibility. Right, so now we have some powder. I also wanted to maybe use a smaller brush over her eyes. Like it's a shadow type brush, and put light shadows on her face, on her eyelids, just like so, and a little bit below. I think last time I also used a little bit of glitter when I did it, so I can repeat that process as well. The shadow. And so the person Alona falls in love with is a boy from a musical school, or I'm not sure how to say it in English, but it's basically a tertiary, maybe not tertiary, it's like a college, it's like a music college that you go there after school, but it's, I guess it is tertiary education in a way. Yeah, we had a different system in my hometown and I think in Ukraine overall, and some of the grades of the qualifications doesn't match with what you might have. But anyway, so this boy, he finished school, and in Ukraine you had a choice. After 9th grade you could finish the school and get into a special type of college that teaches you, like, it's not an apprentice, but it's more like technical, more technical study, for example, like a hairdresser or like a car mechanic. So things that you can practically use right away, and you finish that and you could start working right away. And this boy, he went to music college, and he was older than her, and he was very popular with the girls too. He was a musician, and he was like one of those cool guys, but he was not that like solemn kind of guys that, you know, quiet and like never talk to you. He's actually very talkative, and he loves girls, and he makes out with different girls at different times. He's very kind as well. But when he meets Alona, he feels something different for this girl. And partially this is because of her beauty at first. Of course, I think for boys that's quite important. And this is maybe not only for boys, but me, for example, I was the same. I was always about how a boy looked like, and then everything else. I guess what I mean by look like is not his features of his face or his body, but it's mostly how he behaved and the charisma. So the could be instances where you see a person on the picture and you'll be like, oh no, he's not attractive. But then when you see him in real life and you see his face animated, you see him talking to other people, smiling and laughing, this is when you can actually fall in love. Because you see how this person look like in real life. Not just a picture. Picture doesn't really give you much at all. And it could be the opposite. It could be that someone looks really pretty on a picture, but then they are, maybe they don't engage in a conversation, or they look too smart, or whatever. We all have our own tastes. But anyway, so this boy meets Alona at a party, and he doesn't really make any moves because she's a high school girl, so I guess there was a bit of a unusual situation for him, so he wasn't that interested. However, later they meet again. I should have probably told you as well that Alona has this dream to win a TV show, a game for high school students. You know, it's one of those where they ask different questions on general and specific knowledge, and they go through different stages, and then there are finalists who are just few very smart people, and Alona wanted to be one of those finalists. Well, actually, she wanted to be the finalist because she wanted to prove to everyone that her family is smart, that they didn't just get their money because of some criminal affairs or something illegal. She believes that her grandfather is really smart and he runs his business smart, so he wants to show everyone that their family is to be respected by everybody. And she notices that many people hate their family as well, so she wants to stop it. There's a lot of vandalism going on and people just don't like them, so Alona wants to stop it and prove to everyone that whatever happened, there was nothing wrong with it. She is smart as other members of her family. And the problem starts when they introduce this new category to this competition that was previously a science competition. However, now they're introducing this category arts and music, and Alona knows nothing about those two subjects because her college is high school is a science focused high school, and they don't really have a lot of subjects that relevant to what she needs. And of course, when she meets this beautiful boy and then finds out that he knows a lot about art and music because he is in this music college, and obviously he studied art himself, he promises to help her in studying the music history and artists and different art techniques. So this is how they initially this is why they initially decide to meet. But of course Alona understands that it's not going to be a lesson, it will be a date. And this is how their relationship starts. Here we have some jewelry that is presented on this beautiful model. So we have diamond earrings in the shape of a drop, and this is again something that was described in the story, of course, because her family is rich. She wears diamonds. And this piece of jewelry here, I'll show you, is something very special for Alona. It's a simple silver necklace that this guy she likes gives her. And he realizes that she only wears brands and expensive jewelry, but he really wanted to make her this snowflake. He went to a jeweler and they created that snowflake for her. And why it is a snowflake and why it was so important to this boy give her a snowflake, those of you who read the story will know. But those of you who haven't, I hope that in the future I will translate it and you will find out what happened. So here I have some earrings that we can try, and I know that Alona would hate those, but she doesn't see it, so it's all good. And we like to see it because those little chains are quite tingly, and we can put them in the right order here, just like so, and this little one as well. And so those are the earrings that we give her. In the book, she also has those big rings that were quite popular back then. However, I don't have them myself, so I couldn't show them to you. Well, those ones are nice, and although they don't match with silver necklace, we always can put those golden beads, and she will be all with golden all around her. I'm just going to brush her hair a little bit more, and we'll use also a applicator because I know this is quite tingly as well. Just around her eyes and her temples, across her nose, over her nose, and from the sides across, around her lips, just like so. Right, and the lips are very beautiful, full lips, and just some lip balm is enough to emphasize their beauty, just like so. And we'll just use a comb to do a few more strokes. From this side as well, to the ends. Just relaxing. Around her ears. And here we have naturally goes to the sides, and maybe we'll use a brush on her ear as well. Just to relax you even more. Just like so, and then a few strokes over her forehead, just where the hairline is. And the contour of her face. Beautiful girl that we have here. Just like so. I also have this soft bristle brush that I can use just to produce different sound for you. Just like so, and hopefully you are able to now relax even more, and can also softly fall asleep. Thank you everyone for being with us, and I hope you can continue watching my other videos. There's a lot of different content on my channel, so have a look and choose what you like for tonight to continue your relaxation, or even better, just fall asleep after we finish. Thank you everyone. I wish you to have beautiful, sweet dreams and relaxing time, so tomorrow you wake up full of energy, full of new ideas and passion for life. Have a great time, everyone. Have sweet dreams.